Yesterday the earth trembled beneath my feet, and lightning bolts tore my thoughts to shreds. I thought it was my end, that I would be alone again in the heart of rooms where the shadows are still thick. But today the sun rose just the same, as if the sky hadn't split in half at all. This isn't a broken heart, it's just silent. It stopped screaming, it stopped being afraid. It learned to stand where the wind blows strongly, but it doesn't break the branches, it lets them always stay. I no longer run away, and I no longer close the door. The silence after the storm resonates within us. Love isn't always the color of rain. Sometimes it's drought, sometimes flood. The most important thing is that in this air we finally find ourselves, and we stand upright even though the wind was constantly blowing in our faces. That's the strength you always have. You look at me and search for signs of cracks. You wanna fix what you think is wrong, but the same stumbles are no longer there in me. Only peace that has finally found its meaning. My screams used to shatter the windows of the day-to-day. My silence isn't bad at all. Every scar isn't a wound, it's your path that you had to walk someday. Because every scar isn't a wound, it's just a map where your foot faltered. It's not proven defeat, but an unwanted path that you so once chose. Love isn't always the color of rain. Sometimes it's drought, sometimes flood. The most important thing is that in this air we finally find ourselves, and we stand upright even though the wind was constantly blowing in our faces. That's the strength you always have. I look in the mirror, I see the tiredness on my face, like a rivers and cracked marble. Each whisper's a different story about the times when I was too fragile and weak. I once thought it was a mark of shame, that it was proof of my lack of choice. But today I read these signs anew, like a notebook that holds meaning within itself. When I trusted blindly, seeking advice, and the one on my heart was invisible to the eye. It's like a valley dark and deep, but I stepped out of the shadows and brushed off the dirt and dust. I am not a victim, and I no longer fear storms. What remains is just an old souvenir that I survived that fire, and that it wasn't my end. Love isn't always the color of rain. Sometimes it's a drought, sometimes a flood. The most important thing is that in this air we finally find ourselves, that we stand tall even though the wind is constantly blowing in our faces. That's the strength you always have. And even if I wanted to turn back time and mistakes erase the old ones, I know that without them I would be someone different. Maybe less tough, maybe too weak. They are the armor that protects me now. They are evidence of a fight no one saw when my house burned. And even if I wanted to turn back the clock and erase those stupid mistakes and words, would my soul be ready today without them?